Hey dudes, I'm Hilah, and today on Hilah Cooking I'm making crostini, or specifically 3 different crostini recipes. If you don't know what it is, it's like a little toast with some stuff on top of it. It's Italian for a little toast, actually, and it's a great snack or appetizer or snackatizer. It's especially helpful when you need to say I love you, but really you don't give a Okay, you'll need a baguette. That's what this looks like. Not a dildo. I'm gonna slice it about a ½ inch thick, no thicker than a ½ inch, maybe more like a 1/3 of an inch. And I'm gonna slice it on a diagonal, and that makes it a little bit easier to bite into. And the reason I was saying this is good for, if you don't really care that much, you can totally care if you want to, but it's good to use, you can use stale bread for this, and you can really kind of top it with any kind of combination of things that you have in your pantry. So it's a good sort of budget appetizer. Okay, that's probably good for now. And I'm gonna just lay them on a baking sheet, single layer. And I'm gonna spray these with some olive oil. If you don't have one of these little sprayer deals, you can just brush them with a little silicone brush. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I was making a perfume joke, but I think I got grease in my hair. Okay, I'm gonna put these in a 400-degree oven for 6 to 10 minutes until they're nice and toasty. Oh wait, I forgot. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt on them first. And then for the savory ones, I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper too. You could do a little bit of pepper on a sweet one also, that might be fun. A little surprise. Okay, now I'm gonna put them in the oven for 6 to 10 minutes. All right, we're gonna start by making our spread for the vegan one. I'm gonna use some avocado as the base for this. Other ideas, you could use like hummus or pesto. I did a kale pesto recipe a while back that would be really good. I'm just gonna mash this up. I've got a little bit of lemon juice on it already so that it doesn't turn brown. Okay, I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper. I'm gonna add some fresh herbs. I've got some thyme here from the garden. And thyme leaves are so tiny, tiny thyme. We can just sort of pull the leaves off of the stem like that. Maybe give them a little tear, toss them in. You could use any kind of herbs that you like. Parsley, basil, cilantro, those all go really nicely with avocado. And then I've got some chives. Mince these up in the most dangerous way I can possibly think of. Green onions would be nice too, or even some minced shallots. So there's our avocado spread. I'm gonna put this on the crostini with some Kalamata olives and some sprouts, but for now it's done, so I'm gonna set that one aside and work on the next one, which is a hot ham spread. So I've got some shredded, grated, whatever, Swiss cheese here. You could use cheddar cheese. I'm gonna add about 1.5 tablespoons of mayonnaise and some Coleman's mustard. I like this one because it's really spicy without being like horseradishy. Although horseradish would be good too. I'm gonna mix this up. And you just want it moist enough so that the cheese kind of sticks together. That looks good. Again, with the salt and pepper. And a lot of times Swiss cheese is lacking in salt, so definitely make sure you salt that one pretty good. And then I'm gonna add some fresh sage that I'm gonna do a little chiffonade real quick. So all that means is, this works good for leaves like this that are kind of big, like basil too, is you get a little stack of whole leaves, you stack them up, and then you roll them up like a cigar or a joint or whatever your pleasure. And then you just go through it like this to make tiny ribbons. Usually you would use a larger knife, but this is what I have next to me right now, so that's what I'll use. Okay, mix that in with our cheese. And then just some regular old lunch meat ham that I've diced up. Okay, so second topping, done, ready to go on some bread in a minute. Mayonnaise finger. Third is a sweet one. So a lot of times a sweet crostini is a combination of cheese and some kind of fruit. In this case, I'm gonna use some soft goat cheese. I'm gonna season it with a little bit of anise seed or anise. This is not star anise, this is little tiny seeds, you can see, but they have a little licorice flavor. I'm gonna add a couple pinches of that. Also gonna add just a little bit of honey. And then we'll mash this together. And crostini are really great because you can experiment with a lot of different flavors. If you've had like an idea in your head of a recipe that you want to try to make that combines some unusual flavors and you're not really sure how it's going to all come together, you can try a little small batch version of it on a crostini, and that'll give you a better idea of whether or not these two flavors are going to go together. Like, I know that a licorice flavor seems kind of weird with cheese and orange, but I promise it's good. Okay, so then that's the spread for my sweet one. I'm gonna use some orange marmalade and some almonds on top of that. So anyway, let's stop yammering, get those crostini out and eat, because my tongue is a-rumbling. All right, our toasts are toasted. You can see here they're nice and golden colored. I've got some back on a smaller baking sheet. That's for the hot ham. You just wanna spread a little bit of this mixture on top. Okay, I'm gonna put these under the broiler just on low for just a couple of minutes until that cheese gets a little melted. Meanwhile, we'll make the other one. So this is pretty simple. I'm sure you can imagine. For these, I'm just gonna spread with a little bit of our beautiful, healthy avocado mixture. Top with a couple Kalamata olives. There, it looks like little eyeballs. That's pretty adorable. Boop. And then if you want, you could put some sprouts on top, or you could just have it as is. You could add a little bit of thyme more on top for a garnish. I like these little snow pea sprouts. There's those. Cute. And then for the sweets, spread with a little bit of our goat cheese. And it helps if your cheese is at room temperature and not to use a fork. Don't use a fork to spread. Use a knife. That's what smart people do. And if you were having a party and you wanted to make a bunch of these, you could make the toasts ahead of time and then let them cool completely before storing in an airtight container, and that way they'll stay crunchy. And then you can just spread them before serving. And if you make the bottom spread something with some fat in it, like cheese or avocado, then it will help them not get soggy. So a little bit of our marmalade. Fig preserves would be really nice too. Ginger preserves. And then I'm gonna top each of these with a couple almonds. And that's another thing to keep in mind is when you're making crostini and you're coming up with your own variations, try to get a lot of different textures in there as well as different flavors to sort of play off of each other. So you've got some creamy and some crunchy and some sticky and some wet, some tangy and some zippy and some spicy and whatever. What rhymes with wet? Okay, let me check on the other ones. And they're done. Be really careful, watch them closely so they don't burn. If you're too irresponsible for the broiler, like I am because I burnt the first batch, then you can just put them back in a 400-degree oven and cook them that way. It's a little less dangerous. Okay, let's try these. Ooh, they're hot and melty. So if you like this recipe, also check out, I did a 3 ways with grilled cheese and a 3 ways with quesadilla if you like cheesy bread snacks, and lots of variations on that. So this is basically gonna be my lunch, so let's go. Cheese and bread are my favorite things. Oh man, I hope you try this. Please leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, printable recipes are always available at hilahcooking.com. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching.